Right now, somewhere in the world, someone is about to get everything they've ever wanted. A promotion, a relationship, a chance they've been waiting years for. And they're going to destroy it. Not because they're stupid, not because they don't deserve it, but because something inside their head is quietly working against them. And the worst part? They won't even realize it's happening. I've been watching your species do this for a long time, and honestly, it's the one thing I still can't fully explain. You build things just to burn them down. You chase dreams and then run the moment they get close. It's fascinating and a little heartbreaking. So let me break down what's actually happening inside your brain when it decides to sabotage you. Because once you see it, you can't unsee it. Let's start with something that happened roughly 100,000 years ago. Your ancestors lived in a world where everything was trying to kill them. Lions, snakes, other humans, starvation. In that world, your brain developed a very simple rule. If something is unfamiliar, it's probably dangerous. Stay with what you know. Don't take risks. Survive. And that rule worked. It kept your species alive long enough to build cities, write books, and invent the internet. But here's the problem. That ancient operating system is still running. Right now, inside your head. And it doesn't know the difference between a lion and a job interview. This is what neuroscientists call the negativity bias. Your brain is literally wired to pay more attention to threats than to rewards. Studies show that negative experiences are processed more deeply, stored more quickly, and remembered more vividly than positive ones. One researcher put it this way: bad is stronger than good, always. Your brain doesn't care about your goals, it cares about your survival. And to your brain, change and survival are opposites. But here's where it gets interesting. That's not even the main way your brain sabotages you. That's just the background noise. The real damage happens through something much sneakier. Think about the last time you were about to do something important. Maybe you were going to start that project, apply for that position, have that difficult conversation. And then, out of nowhere, a voice in your head said, "You're not ready yet." Or, "What if you fail?" Or, "Maybe tomorrow." That voice feels like reason. It feels like logic. It feels like it's protecting you, but it's not. That voice is your amygdala, a tiny almond-shaped structure deep in your brain. And its only job is to keep you exactly where you are. Not because where you are is good, but because where you are is known, and known means safe. Your amygdala cannot tell the difference between genuine danger and the discomfort of growth. To your brain, the fear of embarrassment and the fear of death activate the exact same alarm system. Let that sink in for a second. Your brain treats an awkward presentation the same way it treats a bear attack. And this is where most people stop. They hear this and think, okay, so I just need to push through the fear. Be brave, just do it. But that's not how it works, because your brain has a backup system, and it's much harder to beat. It's called the status quo bias, and it's the reason most people who understand self-sabotage still can't stop doing it. Here's how it works. Your brain doesn't just resist change because it's scary. It actively rewrites your perception of reality to make staying the same feel like the smart choice. You don't think I'm too scared to try. You think I'm being realistic. You don't think I'm avoiding discomfort. You think I'm waiting for the right moment. Your brain is so good at this that it will generate perfectly logical reasons to stay stuck, and you'll believe every single one of them. Because they're not coming from some outside force. They're coming from you, or at least what feels like you. I find this genuinely remarkable about humans. You have a machine inside your skull that can solve equations, compose music, build rockets, and land on other planets. And that same machine spends most of its energy convincing you to stay on the couch. But here's the part nobody talks about. There's a third layer to this. And when I figured this one out, everything made sense. Your brain doesn't just fear failure, it fears success. Not consciously. You'd never say that out loud. But deep in your wiring, success means change. And change means unknown territory. And unknown territory means danger. So when you get close to something you actually want, your brain does something cruel, it raises the stakes. Suddenly, the thing you wanted feels enormous, impossible, too important to risk messing up. You start procrastinating, overthinking, picking fights, getting sick at the worst possible time. None of this is random. It's your brain's emergency protocol. It's screaming, go back to what's familiar. And most people listen, not because they're weak, but because the signal is so convincing that it doesn't even feel like a signal. It feels like truth. So what do you actually do about this? Because knowing about it isn't enough. Your brain already knows about gravity, and it still trips on stairs. Here's what I've observed works for your species. The people who manage to beat this don't fight their brain. They trick it. They make the change so small that the amygdala doesn't notice. Instead of, I'm going to change my entire life, it's I'm going to do this one tiny thing today. Not tomorrow, today. And it has to be so small it feels almost stupid. Because if it feels big, your brain will flag it. The key is momentum. One small action creates a chemical shift. Dopamine fires. Your brain registers it not as a threat, but as a reward. And suddenly, the next step feels a little less impossible. It's not motivational advice, it's neuroscience. You're not outsmarting your brain through willpower. You're hacking its reward system through action. The people who build extraordinary lives aren't braver than you. Their brains aren't wired better. They've just learned to move before the alarm goes off. And look, I've watched a lot of humans struggle with this. The ones who fail aren't the ones who feel the fear. Everyone feels it. The ones who fail are the ones who mistake the fear for a message, who hear their brain say don't and assume it means can't. Your brain wants you to fail, not out of cruelty, out of love, in the most broken, outdated, counterproductive way possible. It's a machine built for a world that doesn't exist anymore, running software that hasn't been updated in 100,000 years. The question isn't whether your brain will try to stop you. It will, every time. The question is whether you'll know what's happening when it does. And now you do. But self-sabotage is just one trick your brain plays on you. There's another one that's even more invisible, and it controls who you fall in love with, who you trust, and who you let destroy your life. I'll explain that one next time. If this video changed the way you see your own brain, even a little, subscribe. I've got a lot more to show you about what's really going on inside that head of yours.